The SciSpace AI agent for literature review is my choice, but not only my choice, my students' choice as well, because they work with SciSpace Agent and they're very, very happy with it. So actually, SciSpace came to the rescue for me and for my students. Information overload, you can see what it does. Faster identification of high quality and relevant studies. You don't have to sift through all of it. The agent does everything for you the way you want it. All you have to do is talk, write what you want, explain what you want. And if it starts and you change your mind and you want to add something, you stop the agent, you add your additional information, and it does the work for you. Sometimes I feel that the agent is like a slave because it's always there, happy to do what I ask, and no questions. Unclear scope. We get clear detection and more structured literature review, and it's getting better and better. And screening difficulties, quicker filtering. You can filter it the way you want. And it's fast. Really, really fast. And to tell you a little trick that I do that because I like speed. I like when things are fast and I'm very visual. So I like to watch it as it's happening. What I do is I open 2, sometimes 3 SciSpace windows, tabs, and I make it do different things, and I'm amazed at how well it does things. And of course, it has a strong analytical and thematic literature review. Tracking citations, it tracks the citations right there in front of you. And the errors, I have not seen any errors. If you find errors, please let me know. And you can read the rest. So what we want is to try SciSpace and work with it. The only way to learn how to use SciSpace Agent and other AI tools is to work with them, to try things out. I've been teaching AI to teachers, to educators for a couple of years now, and that's the only way things work. You have to try it out, and don't be afraid, because it's going to be a lot of fun. There are a few updates that I'd like to share with you that I'm really, really excited about, and that is grants and publications, as well as websites and some other goodies, I call them, because these are really treats for us, for researchers. I'm visual. As you noticed, I like images. I like to be able to see things. Words are powerful when they're colored, but sometimes when you're looking at text for a long time, you need something to lighten your spirits up. And that's what images do for me. I'll just share a few screenshots and then I'll take you to the live demo. This is what I started. Notice the topic. It's a literature review on AI for English language teaching. Current studies. Notice, as I said, from 2025 up. Nothing less. And it came up with what I wanted. Notice here, it tells you exactly what it's doing. And I love this kind of communication. I'll help you conduct a literature review on AI for ELT, and it even adds it. Focus to make sure that I know what ELT, because it could be something else, right? Focusing on current studies. Let me start by creating a structured plan, and it tells you exactly what it does. Now, this makes you feel that you're not alone. You have an assistant with you that's always available and very, very polite and always tells you what's happening. Now, you can see on the left, that's what you add, and you can stop it at any time. You see the center. with what you're getting. Notice it's PDF. You can open it. You can see the author in the center, you, Habiba. You can cite it, and you get the relevance, whether it's high relevance, and you can see what's happening here. And if you don't know call, this is very relevant to me as well as NLP. Call is computer assisted language learning. So I can see the relevancy, and notice it grades it for me. Okay, at the top is 100 and then 96 and so on. So all of these are graded, which is so important for us. And it makes us feel good. You gain confidence by knowing this, that you're getting this information. Now, notice here what it's doing here. It's giving me the full literature review, and I can save this to Notebook, which is on the left on SciSpace. So everything is available. I'll be able to come back to everything. But if I want anything specifically saved, it'll save it in the Notebook. You can also download everything. So you don't have to feel, oh, it's going to be gone. No, you can download it if you wish. That's fine. Notice also you have follow-up suggestions. And this is where the new features come in. Notice here, conduct deep review comparing AI effectiveness across different ELT proficiency levels. So English language teachers love this because, we all have different levels, whether they're beginners, adult, young learners, and so on. So you can go into that, or it can go into that. You can click on that, or there's the arrow, and create visualization, comparing AI tools' adoption rates in ELT contexts. Now, this is what I meant when I said visualization. I love that. Or you can go on to reviews on ChatGPT if that interests you, and so on. Or you can ask anything. And believe me, I do. I feel, and I got this from my students as well, that SciSpace empowers us by giving us a chance to try so many wonderful things and gain its trust. Now, these are some of the other follow-up suggestions. The new ones are create website, and I'll show you the website. Showcasing AI for ELT in my case, literature review findings. You can generate a report, of course. You can, as I mentioned, create visualization and so on. So let me continue here. And there you can see what it looks like. You simply hit one of these on the left. It goes into the agent search box. You hit the orange, and that's it. I don't know if you believe this, but I do. There have been many studies on it, and you can try SciSpace to find studies on the topic of reading without knowing that you're reading, going through a lot of these articles. Your brain actually picks up a lot of this information without going through word by word. So you don't really have to read word by word or even phrase by phrase. You can take a look at everything and you'll be surprised at how much information your brain managed to capture, and sustain. So try it and see how it works. So this is another one just to show you an interactive website showcasing citation network with search functionality. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. You can also get presentations, and these are called skills. Website skills, these are experts who do this for you, and that's a skill. And also presentation, even a PowerPoint presentation. Can you believe that? Of your work. Now, this is an example of a presentation. If you've got your phone handy, You'll also get the presentation afterwards, and you'll be able to get the links for this so that you can see what the presentation looks like. And I'll share it. This is the website. I just love this. Isn't that absolutely amazing? This is brand new. It's an update, but that's what you can do with your literature review. You can visualize it, which is what I love. Let me know in the chat if you're a visual learner as well and you prefer things to be visually appealing. And it is absolutely beautiful. Notice with the tabs, and you get a link for it. You can share it with your colleagues and work on it together. Now, this is a QR code to the website that I just shared. And there's also a citation explorer, which is another feature, also a visual site. It's a website. And as I said, the presentation, you can create a PowerPoint presentation. You can also create, this isn't new, an infographic poster, another visual that I appreciate so much. And this is an example from AI for ELT, studies on how teachers use AI in their classes, how students learn through AI tools, how to speak, read, write English. So this is what the infographic looks like. Isn't it amazing? No typos. It's perfect. And I can share this in a presentation about my research. What do you think of my research? And talk about it, which is so important because it's not just writing it. We have the before, where you prepare your research, during, of course, and after. And this could be done throughout. And of course, the citations and references that I mentioned, this isn't new on SciSpace, but it's very, very important because I want recent studies, and I can't get recent studies through my university because my university doesn't get it that fast because I do belong to an online library, but I don't get all of these. So SciSpace has them all. Studies from 2025 onwards. And of course, this is an image where I can take a look at distribution across ELT context. And whether you're working in an ELT environment, whether you're an educator, working in the medical field, whatever field you're working in, having a distribution across different contexts is super important, not only to present to others, but for you to grasp the information, because we can't possibly read so many papers. And having summaries isn't always enough. Sometimes we need to visualize it. We need to be able to see it to better understand what's going on. So it's for you as a learner, as a researcher, and to share with others or to teach if you're teaching research. And these are other examples if you need numbers and you're not a visual learner or a visual researcher, but you like the numbers. Here are some statistical summaries of AI tools adoption. Now, adoption is super important when it comes to integrating AI into our fields, in my field, especially in education, but it could be in your field as well. I'm sure it's going to be in every field. So, knowing about AI and how it's used and about research, as far as I'm concerned, is valuable to everyone. So, there you can get an idea of what it looks like. And here is, believe it or not, the Citation Explorer. I love this. You'll be able to use this. I'll share the link with you in a second. A minute. You'll be able to use it Notice you just go into search for papers. This is online. It's a website that SciSpace generated for me with a link. I just can't believe this. I'm just overwhelmed by these new updates, and SciSpace keeps coming up with them. I don't know what's going to be next. So it really gives me confidence as a researcher and teacher who teaches research because I can tell my students, you don't have to procrastinate like I did. You don't have to worry. You can start and have fun because that's what it's about. It's about enjoying the research. It's not a chore. It should be fun. And the process will be amazing with SciSpace, of course. So you gain confidence with effective communication. You've got a partner that is with you wherever you are, whenever, so that you can ask questions whenever you have them. And I'm sure you have questions all the time, right? Especially when you're involved in your research. So, how can I help you? That is a beautiful question. And notice you can also connect Zotero, Mendeley, OneDrive, Notion, GitHub, and more. I love this. And now, notice at the bottom, you're right, you can connect with people like me. You can search for people to recruit and collaborate with you. And researchers love to collaborate. You collaborate with me, I collaborate with you, and we learn together. And this again builds confidence because we're not alone. We can work with others. We can find, recruit, and collaborate with professors, researchers, and more with AI. So this is AI sourcing platform based on publication citations, grant signals, and methodologies. You can find, notice here, professors, find postdocs, and find research papers. And what's important is you're not alone. That is so important. The final takeaways before I take you on our demo is what we need is to feel that we're not alone, to simplify the literature review so that it's not something that we dread, but it's something that we like. Reduce stress that always comes with research. We want to reduce it. Save time, gain confidence, use it ethically and thoughtfully. If we have an amazing agent like SciSpace, we can be more critical because we can sit back and look at what's happening and think about it. It's an AI assistant that'll do it for you if you let it, but you shouldn't. You should first, and I'm going to stop sharing here before we get to the questions because I want to share. Hope you can see that. Let me know just in case if you can see SciSpace. And let me know if you're new to SciSpace because this could be your first time and perhaps you are amazed, maybe too amazed, but it's all true. Let me know if this is new, if you are new to SciSpace before I continue here, just to get an idea. All right, so if you're new to SciSpace, I mean, I was new to SciSpace at some point too, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I just couldn't believe it. So what I suggest for you, if you're new, or if you're not sure about how to tackle SciSpace, what do I do? Where do I go? There's text here, a lot of text. Because this is what I generate. Well, I didn't generate anything, but this is what I started. It's the agent that generated everything. So my question again, if I go to the very top, is AI and ELT. Okay, that's what I started with. And then I asked for certain things on the left. So if you look at the agent message area, that's where your focus should be. You should be communicating with that. First of all, ask questions. If you've got a gap, or if you don't have a research gap and you're interested in getting a gap, or you're not sure of where to start, ask your questions. Don't be afraid. Of course, you're not going to be afraid, but hopefully nobody's watching you. Nobody knows what you're asking. You're not being tracked. First of all, you should know that. And then you'll get the final outputs right in the middle here. Okay, that's the final output. Okay, and there you also get whatever you click on when you go to the live activity. Okay, the outputs, and there's the grant proposal. You can ask for anything. If you want a grant, you ask for a grant. If you want a literature review, you ask for a literature review, and you ask for the topic. That's it. You only use, forget about what's on the left. You only use the agent. Okay, only use this box. That's it. You don't have to worry about anything else, and ask for what you want. Let me go to the other one that I have open here. Okay, that's the live. Notice I didn't create anything. I shouldn't say that. It feels like I created it, but I didn't. Okay, so let me share this with you. I'll get the link so I can share the link with you, copy it in the chat if you don't have your phone by you and you can't read the QR code. So that's the website that SciSpace generated based on my topic and my literature review. Artificial intelligence in English language teaching, key findings. Notice at the top here, you've got home, that's where we are now, overview. Notice executive summary, there's an overview here, and then key findings. There's also the research methodology that was used in the literature review to get me the information that I asked for, which was AI and ELT, a literature review on AI. That's all I asked for. I wasn't very specific because I didn't have to be. I knew that SciSpace would do the work because I trust it. I have used it enough to get its trust. So notice here, AI bots. These are all the major AI applications in English language teaching. This is what teachers use. AI chatbots, automated feedback systems, adaptive learning platform. Everything is here based on the literature review. Can you believe this? It's magic, right? No, it's not. It's SciSpace. And then applications. Notice the menu at the top. Okay, you get the applications here, and then challenges and limitations, infrastructure limitations, data privacy concerns, cost barriers, teacher training gaps, you know, I have my research all done for me. I can start. And then future directions. What else can you ask for? Amazing, right? All right, so let me take you to another website that was generated for me. Okay, SciSpace generated this for me. I hope it's not the same one. No. Okay, great. There's the Explorer. Now, this is what I was telling you about before, that all I need to do is add a paper. There are 271 from my research that were published in 2025 plus. Not too many in 2026, I have to confess, but all right. And notice here, all I have to do is write Andrea, which is the first name. That's enough. And I get everything by Andrea. So you can try this out and find out. Notice here as well, I can drag these, okay, or click on them, and I get all the literature that was used, all the references. Let me go back here to the top if I can, because it seems to be stuck. Maybe because too many of you are there. All right. Yes, now it's unstuck. So let me go to the top here. So notice what's here, okay? You can research by name, of course, search by title, author, keyword. And I think keyword is super important because that's going to be very, very helpful. If you're interested about learning about the research that was, you know, compiled for me, um, just search for the papers and you'll find them. Let me go back and see if there's anything else that I'd like to add for you. Maybe we can come back later. I'll keep this open in case you've got questions related to what I have done here. Let me close that up. We don't need that. So as I said, all you need is the agent, and that's it. You write everything there and be amazed. So let me go back to, oh yes, I wanted to show you the presentation. This was a Microsoft PowerPoint presentations that I uploaded to Google Drive so I can share this with you. So let me share it with you. Let me copy the link. That's going to be problematic here because my email was shown. All right, there we go. And you can see what it looks like. So let me give you a bit of so this is it. This is what SciSpace generated for me based on a comprehensive literature review of applications, innovations, and future directions. February 2026. Artificial Intelligence in English Language Teaching. And here goes. 180 research papers analyzed, 30 key studies synthesized. You can see everything here. Absolutely amazing, right? Positive findings, key challenges, experimental studies. This is all on AI in ELT. There's something 2024. Maybe late 24. Personalized error correction, relevant topics, multimodal interaction, gamification, which I use in my courses, limitations, everything is here. Evidence of automated feedback, adaptive learning platforms, machine learning and adaptive systems, natural language processing, which is important. And notice this, comparing AI applications, strengths, and use cases. I can give a presentation on, my literature review and tell you more about it. Critical barriers to implementation, additional implementation concerns, emerging trends and research priorities, key takeaways and implications. Can you believe this? Key references. You have to try it to believe it. Let me go back to our presentation and questions.